who would be defacing atheist video channels. It wouldn't be other atheists, because even if they didn't like my videos, and quite a number don't, they've told me, but they don't try and get them off the air. The thing with YouTube is that when people make inane comments or do other things to your channel, you can track them down, because YouTube tells you who has done what. So I did. You're going to find this hard to believe. They're all Christians. Truly, I know you might not believe that. They all have their own Christian channels with their own collections of videos. Very few of them have actually made their own videos. They've linked to other people's videos, usually pastors giving sermons and stuff like that. I go through and remove all the silly comments that I made. There was one guy, DB Price 114. Hi DB Price 114. You watch my videos, so you'll be seeing this. DB Price 114, you actually went through all of my videos. You had to hunt them down from YouTube, and you marked them as spam. Now, most people will think of spam as something that arrives uninvited. You didn't want it, but you got it. You had to go through my videos, you had to search for them on YouTube to find them, hunt them down, in order to mark them as spam. That wasn't very Christian, was it, DB Price 114? But then I've watched some of the other videos that you've put on your channel, and even though they're all about God and the Ten Commandments, they're not very Christian. But then, thinking about Christianity and other religions too, one of the things that marks them out is their intolerance for disagreements, their intolerance to criticism. They're called heretics, people who criticise a religion, and they're burnt at the stake, or their heads are chopped off, or they're stoned. Well, I had to come back here to the van because an entire baseball team of sports type people turned up where I was, and they were making a bit too much background noise for me to keep going. And now I've forgotten where I was. Yeah, intolerance to criticism, which seems to be something that religion, all churches, are particularly sensitive to. If a Catholic criticises Protestants, that's heresy. It used to be war. And if a Protestant criticises tenets of the Catholic faith, that's heresy and used to be war. And if anyone at all criticises Islam, that's heresy and it's fatwa. Even within the same church, there's just recently an American nun who was worrying about third world women growing up, bringing up children in squalor and poverty. This is in the Catholic third world, some parts of South America, etc. And she wrote a book in which she said that because Catholic women cannot have abortions, not allowed, can't use condoms or any other kind of birth control, not allowed, she advised the women to pleasure themselves rather than have sex with their man too often, because at least that way they'd still be getting the pleasure, but they wouldn't be producing children and bringing them up in poverty. Well, you better believe the Pope slapped her down very hard. From the beginnings of time, since religions were thought of, they have not been on a sound enough footing to allow people to criticize them. Even unto death do their critics go. And perhaps that's why I prefer science, because a scientist who comes up with something new will actually publish it and waits for other scientists to test what he's found. He'll encourage that. And he'll invite these critiques, and then they'll get into a discussion about whether or not he's right. And if he's wrong, he will graciously say so and get on with his work. Try doing that with a religion. I went to turn the camera off and didn't mention the very reason that I was actually making this video. It was just to say that this intolerance of criticism could be covered up back in the old days. They just killed the person and went on with it. Sure, sometimes it was put down in writing, but it was justified because the person was satanic or whatever in the writings. But these days, when they stamp down on criticism, it's there for all to see because it happens on YouTube or on Facebook. People like myself are able to name those nefarious and devious Christians who are trying to sneakily shut them up. The spotlight can be put on them in a way that it never used to be able to be. So modern technology, I think, I hope, will hasten the downfall of superstition. That's it.